Just kidding, we're recording Adjunct today on this setup instead. So I don't know what half of this is, so we're just going to get straight into it. Office of Naval Intelligence Confidential. Directorate Memorandum Interrogation Findings. UNSC Everest, 28th December, 2530, 1230 Standard. The Groombridge subject. This report was generated by AI Solopsil immediately following the interrogation of Subject 386, also known as the Groombridge subject. Subject 386 was a biological life form captured in Waterford, Lemuria of Groombridge 1830 on December 24th, 2530, at approximately 1805 hours. This interrogation was conducted on December 25th, 2530, 0240 hours. The subject was confirmed deceased at 0417 hours. The following is a series of transcription excerpts from the interrogation of Subject 386, as recorded by AI Solopsil. Recorded transcription excerpt. Solopsil. Current date and time is December 25th, 2530, 0240 hours standard. We are in orbit above Groombridge 1830, aboard the UNSC Everest. Within the ship's biohazard unit R12, this is UNSC AI Solopsil. Service number SLP 0391-5. Lieutenant, please state your rank, name, and service number for the record. Lieutenant Richard Lionel Barkley, Office of Naval Intelligence. Service number 00045-23994-RL. Solopsil. Admiral, your rank, name, and service number for the record, please. Cole. Fleet Admiral Preston Jeremiah Cole, UNSC Everest. Service number 03956-26127-PC. Solopsil. Let the record show that Subject 386 was captured from an enemy assault carrier which attempted to flee to the planetary surface during the engagement designated GB5546. Two heavily armed tactical strike teams retrieved Subject 386 from within an enclosed compartment which survived landfall. The subject is approximately 2.3 meters in height and approximately 153 kilograms in weight. Subject 386, unintelligible. Solopsil. Subject 386 is restrained, and Lieutenant Barkley has a weapon drawn on the subject. Lieutenant, can you verify that for the record? Barkley. The weapon is drawn and ready to fire. Solopsil. Thank you, Lieutenant. Admiral, you can begin. Cole. Can you hear me? Solopsil. Let the record show that Subject 386 has made eye contact with the Admiral. Cole, do you understand what I'm saying? Subject 386. Unintelligible. Cole, if you can hear me and understand what I am saying, nod your head. Solopsil, Subject 386 has nodded its head. Cole, what is your name? Subject 386, unintelligible. Cole, Solopsil, is that thing working? Solopsil, let the record show that the Admiral is referring to Is there? There is. Let the record show that the Admiral is referring to TSV 442, Everest Onboard Translation Program. Yes, Admiral, it's working. The subject's not speaking any words recognized by our database. State your name. Unintelligible. Barkley, I'm clearly confusing it. Please help me articulate. Solopsil. The lieutenant has cocked the M6 sidearm and has placed the barrel at Subject 386's right temple. Subject 386. That will not persuade me, human. Cole. Your name and rank. Subject 386. You are not worthy to hear it. Cole. You're going to die here, you know. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Give us your name and rank. Subject 386. Laughter? Question mark. Excerpt 1 ends. Excerpt 4 begins. Cole, why are you here? Why Groombridge? Subject 386. It is just another human world, like all the others. Cole, just like the others? Then why the other worlds? Subject 386. Unintelligible. Cole, what was that? Subject 386. Even now, you stand without unintelligible or honor. You are unclean, human, and nothing can save you now. Cole, unclean? Subject 386. You are an affront to the gods, desecrating their temples by committing horrors with their consecrated unintelligible. Cole, temples? What temples? Who are these gods? Subject 386. You are ignorant, swarming maggots. You know nothing of the great journey, or of our gods' treasures. Yet you, unintelligible, intend to destroy them. We will root out every single world you possess and lay waste to them one by one until there's nothing left for you to go. Nowhere left for you to go. Cole, I seem to remember us destroying your ships yesterday. Did you think we were going to let you just waltz right in? Subject 386. Yesterday? 3 ships, human? You boast about unintelligible. 3 of our vessels, when you had 5 times that many, and lost almost all. Cole, we, Subject 386, our fleets approach from beyond the stars, and they are far more vast than your unintelligible mind can fathom. There is no defense which you can muster, no escape. Solopsil, let the record show an increase in the heart rate of Subject 386. Cole, we're not afraid of you. We'll stand and fight. Subject 386, and you will perish by the billions. Cole, we'll stop you. I promise you. Subject 386, your unintelligible is weak, nothing more than slithering unintelligible to be cut away and discarded. Solopsil, let the record show that Subject 386 is moving within its restraints. Lieutenant. Barclay, stay down. Do not move or I'll blow your expletive head off. Subject 386, we're the holy and glorious inheritors. Cole, why are you attacking us? Solopsil, subject is slipping into some kind of arrest or seizure. Medics, let the record show that Subject 386's extensive injuries and trauma have. Subject 386, you have been judged unclean. A scourge that must be burned away. Every one of your worlds will be reduced to ash. Solopsil, medic, let the record show Subject 386 unintelligible. Destroy you all. Solipsil, medic, let the record show that the subject's vitals have flatlined. Cole, we can't let them find her. Barclay, Earth. Cole, Earth. Solopsil, let the record show that as of December 25th, 2530, 0417 hours, Subject 386's vitals flatlined, and lacking the necessary understanding of its anatomy, the subject was not resuscitated. Transcription terminated. Word from the Third Fleet of glorious consequence to the holy city of high charity, vice-cleric of zeal. Excellency, since we last spoke, much has changed. The human world we had targeted has been laid to waste. The last cycle of purification is in its final stage. May we all walk the path. Unfortunately, our return will be delayed due to a local magnetic irregularity. But an early report may help to stay any concern you might have about this protracted engagement. In particular, any concern about one Major Thel Lodomy and the actions which placed our fleet and his entire battalion at grave risk, extending this skirmish needlessly. Thel's devout hatred for the humans is commendable, but it feeds an unchecked and dangerous level of recklessness. He is a vicious commander and a skilled warrior, but he is incapable of self-control, even at the peril of troops who serve under him. All were concerns which I respectfully addressed at the last assignment tribunal. During our siege, some of the vermin attempted to escape. We destroyed each and every vessel before they even breached their world's gravity well. But one managed to find the system's edge. It was then that Thel left his battle group without notice in pursuit of this single ship with a small strike force. You already know what befell of our fleet and the cost we have paid. Early estimates are somewhat near 3,000, all on the shoulders of reckless abandon. While Thel managed to slay a human demon, something we were surprised to find here, he came to understand that its purpose was to protect a key military asset. We are not certain what this asset's significance is, only that it is, in fact, significant. It is a human female, so important that the demon protector swiftly traded its life for the creature's safety. Such dedication is rather surprising. They will follow, and we will be ready for them, and then we will continue as planned, rejoining the fleets of furious retribution and rigorous prayer at our assigned rendezvous point. In faith, your humble servant, Supreme Commander Luro Taralumi, resplendent fervor. God, I fucking hate the Covenant. Office of Naval Intelligence, narrow band point-to-point transmission, classified, top secret, for your eyes only. Warm blanket, from Vadim, Berlin M. Tursk. UNSC Heavy Cruiser, Swiftsure. To Captain Lucius R. Giron, Oni Pro-49776. Lucius, my apologies for the brevity of this message. Rain check on that coffee, too. We're pulling out of the system. As you already know, yesterday the UNSC declared the colony of Meridium lost. Meridium. The fight had gone on for over 2 weeks, and we killed a mountain of those bastards, but apparently not enough. During civilian egress, one of our evac craft, BL-9400493, carried a pseudo-civilian the spooks consider Pry 1 Dr. Catherine Elizabeth Halsey. Not sure how the hell that went down, and usually Oni has a good eye on where she is at all times. But there she was, on Meridium's surface, just as the Covenant started their thing. Apparently her Spartan 2 bodyguard was taken out during extraction. But the ship she was on managed to escape. They even made it to the edge of the system safely, but a Covenant interceptor disabled the vessel before it was able to slip. Everyone on board was killed except for her, so they obviously realized they have something. As you know, they're not big on taking prisoners. Our continuous pings to her beacon indicate that she's still alive and still on ice. One other complication, they're bound to have detected the short radius M-wave bounce, which means they know they have a microtail, and they're letting it follow. So they'll be expecting trouble. If we stop pinging her tracker, they may assume she's of no value to us. We're between a rock and a hard place. For the time being, we're fairly certain that the Covenant don't fully understand the value or nature of the package they have in their possession, but we're also pretty damn sure that once they find out, they'll attempt to exploit her to the fullest extent. For now, prep your OF-92s. Admiralty's sending Spartans your way for a quick and dirty extraction. Orders will follow shortly. B. Hello, Agnes. You probably didn't expect to hear from me. Not while we're in the middle of this mess. But I know you've seen the bulletin and it's been eating away at me. You're the only person I can really talk to about it. I have no doubt my communications are being monitored, but all of this is public record, or at least, official record. Ralph 303 is hardly anomalous in terms of what happened to his mind state and general psychological condition after his removal from the Spartan 2 program. But the recent revelation regarding the manner of his death and the declassification of some elements of the Spartan 2 program make this a good time to talk about an uncomfortable part of our lives as any. We have to be careful with children. I don't mean to sound glib or preachy. You know I'm not that way, but we have a moral responsibility, even in the face of great challenges and difficulties that we cannot ignore. If we are tasked with saving humanity, then we must, as scientists, understand what saving humanity actually means. If we abandon the very things that make us human to defend balls of rock, then what are we saving precisely? Better to take the path of least resistance offered by the flood anomaly, or even annihilation by the covenant, than abandon our own human worth. Self-preservation simply isn't a strong enough argument. So I said I wasn't going to be preachy or glib, and I failed there. I suppose. I'm sorry. This has been eating at me since I saw the bulletin. He was a good kid. Most of them were good kids. And I feel like we let them down. Daisy handled it better than Ralph did, at least in the short term. But I think at the end of the day, Ralph's path was better. I think he lived a happier life, even if it was truncated. I read his whole file. He led a good life. Physiological differences can't be ignored, although some of his gene treatments were curtailed and suppressed. Some irreversible changes had occurred. He'd have been an intimidating child in school, even with a strict military upbringing. Being an alpha male in an environment replete with them hardly makes his adolescence and emergence into adulthood typical. He had some advantages. We can assume that the lack of typical schoolyard competition and relative lack of stresses in those environments made some of the transitional years easier for him than if he had been, for example, a shorter, weaker child, more prone to bullying. School reports do show some bullying tendencies on his part, but nothing particularly cruel, and the reports indicate a simple and perhaps normal phase rather than a trend or pattern. To all intents and purposes, he was a fair-minded and ostensibly good child. The fact that he recovered from that much trauma and actually served in the Marines is a testament to his strength. We tend to use successful Spartans as a yardstick for strength, sometimes, and that's unfair. Nobody can bend that much and not break a little. His adoptive parents understood that he was a special case, and I feel very strongly that this kind of reset of environment was important to his recovery and his subsequent growth as a human being. Ironically, I suspect that when he did finally pass away, honorably and in action, I might add, that he was more stable and mature in his outlook than many of the Spartan success stories. Parental placement is important in these cases for a number of reasons. Secrecy, of course, is paramount, but we've found that structured, disciplined lives afforded by military families help create a sense of stability and purpose for otherwise very confused children. There are elements of the Spartan program we still can't discuss openly, stuff Halsey didn't know about, for example, but we can speak with conviction about relative morality, because we have the luxury of hindsight and the burden of guilt. I guess my point is that you have to think about Ralph. I know you're working with new children. I know that doing this for years can inure you to what they are and what they mean to us. Our child never made it, and I cry every time I think about our little girl. Agnes, I really cry. And I know that's why we never made it. I will always be sorry for that, and for being too weak to help you get through it. But these new ones, they have to make it. And when you're not teaching them, not monitoring them, you have to be a mother to them. You were good at that. You always were. Yours faithfully, Mike. Holy shit, there's more? This is 18 minutes. What the fuck? United Nations Space Command Transmission 34670J-17, encryption code red. Public key file-Douglas-66 Lima. From Captain Jacob Keyes, Commanding Officer, UNSC Pillar of Autumn, UNSC Service Number 01928-19912-JK. To Vice Admiral Capano and Singley, UNSC Section 2 Subcommander, Reach CENTCOM, UNSC Service Number 25088-67602-KN, Subject, Readiness. Classification, Eyes Only, R&D Directive. Vice Admiral, the Pillar of Autumn's refit is 98% complete, and if we can maintain the current pace, we should meet all red flag specs in 72 hours. The Halcyons were always impressive, but with the modifications made here, the ship shows what the hulls truly could have been. My concern about the fragility of her reactor remains, but after seeing its energy output in our test sequence, I can appreciate the value of the new design. Let's just hope that nothing gets loose in there. You told me that this mission is big, and you and I have been through enough together that I believe you. Well, I expect I'll be the last person to know where we're sailing. I've been around long enough to be able to tell that we're going alone. I've got a who's who of engineers, scientists, and Oni monitors crawling all over my ship right now. And if they're all here, that means every other ship in the dock is going without. Plus, we've already taken enough redacted to account for every gram left at Reach. If I've been reading the fleet reports correctly the last few months, so no other ship could even keep up with us if they tried. All this and the modifications to stow an army's worth of heavy weapons without any room for an army to makes it pretty clear that I'm about to get some visitors. And I know what kind of missions they go on. My men know it too. Which leads to why I'm reporting out of schedule. You can give me all the missiles in the fleet, but I need a crew to fire them, and I need them for the duration. The damned Oni orders not to discuss what's going on out there are a serious interference with my command. I get the briefings and the real numbers, and I understand that there's not much we could do if we launched the Autumn directly into the heart of it, but I can't explain any of that to my men because I can't officially acknowledge that any of it is even taking place. But you know, as well as I do, that these blackout orders aren't worth a damn. Crew talks, always have, always will. If it's not the techs or the Navcom ops, it's my plate welders out verifying the hull with a great big view of the show below. There's no way that stays quiet, not with as many husbands, wives, and kids as we have down on the surface. And every day those doubts grow. My crew is one more nightmare further away from full readiness. I can't have that if you expect me to do my job, whenever you tell me what that job is. They need to know that Reach won't be here when we get back. There's nothing we can do about it, but make this loss mean something by completing our mission to the best of our abilities. And I have to make them understand that this means standing down on board the Autumn while everything goes to hell around them. I was lucky enough to make my peace down there while on critical official business. But none of my crew thought they were shipping for the last time, and now it's too late. I have to focus them. Turn their doubt into an anger I can use. And hope like hell that they don't turn that anger on me. Not sure I'd blame them if they did. If somebody told me I had to stay in orbit 30 minutes away from my last chance to see Miranda, well, I'm going to keep this ship and her crew ready to fly, so I have to be able to tell them the truth. This is a hell of a war, that we have jobs like this. Now let me do my job. Keys. Dear Christ, there's more. File, redacted, redacted, redacted. Date, redacted. User, classified level, redacted and above. Entry, 19-021-024. Clearance, classified level, redacted and above. Type, post-incident investigation. Subject, investigation into secure network, SecNet, message exchange between Sergeant Schicker, Alistair R. Glancer, and Sergeant Petit Joseph M. Trigtech. To ascertain culpability of individuals involved and classified information contained within as it relates to the subsequent discovery and ultimate destruction of Reach by the Covenant. Objective, determine whether the details captured in the conversation contained within file number redacted-redacted-redacted held any relevance to the events that followed, i.e., potential enemy understanding of defensive forces and tactics present on Reach prior to and during the Covenant invasion. More. File type, basic, for further details pertaining to this document, including participant background files, clearance-sensitive amendments, and more, click here. Note, all other entries related to file number redacted-redacted-redacted are under review. Full report pending completion of investigation. Data, begin, 19-021-024. Transcript. Glancer, you online? Trig, you on? Trigtech, hold up. Sorry, one of our lifts is bust. We got hogs backed up out the gate. What's up? Glancer. Busy? Trig Tech. Always, but got a few. What's up? Glancer. Not bad. I'll take your hogs and raise you 144s. Had 3 in yesterday. Trig Tech. What'd the 144s set you back? I can run diags on 3 hogs in the time the flight mechs can run 1 bird. Glancer. Wasn't bad. They take a hell of a lot longer for sys checks, but no glitches equals not a complete cluster. Last week, got one with a catch in the rotor. Borked the whole damn day. Trig Tech. That's why I stick to wheels and mud. Glancer. You stick to ground transpo because you hate flying. Trig Tech. Point? Glancer. No point. We stick with what we know, right? You like dirt, I like clouds. Trig Tech. True. Not that your toys aren't interesting. Just never had much love for gravity. Must be my infantry blood boots on the ground and all that. Glancer. Don't know what you're missing. Trig Tech. Says you. Glancer. Ha. Trig Tech. So what's up? Glancer. Nothing really. Trig Tech. Just miss me? I'm touched. Glancer. Yeah, something like that. Just been a while. Thought I'd check in on the old shop. Trig Tech. You been out a year? Over, right? How's field life? Glancer. It's alright. Got 4 months left this deployment, then shuffling back to the real world. Trig Tech. Careful what you wish for. I don't know that base life is any less of a grind than a forward plot. At least not these days. Glancer. Problems? Trig Tech. Not so much problems. You hear things, right? Glancer. About how it's going? Trig Tech. Yeah, the war. Glancer. Yeah. Seems different, don't it? Like more tense? Trig Tech. Yeah, I think. I know it ain't going great, but things have definitely gotten tighter lately. Glancer. It's kinda why I hit you up. Wondering if you had the same vibe there as here. Trig Tech. Guess so, yeah. Assumed it'd be a bit more crunch mode where you're at. I understand we're getting our asses kicked, but you think it's getting worse? Glancer. That's what I'm wondering. Trig Tech. Seems like, but it's a war. A big one. So it's not like it's supposed to be pleasant. Glancer. Was actually hoping you'd tell me I was being paranoid, and I'm overthinking it, 'cause I've been in the field too long. Maybe I was getting twitchy. Guess not. Trig Tech. Things that bad out there? Glancer. Not so much. Just different. A lot of activity and a lot more personnel movements. And we've been stockpiling artillery and rides when that shit usually gets allocated for deploy off-world. Trig Tech. Could just be there aren't too many off-worlds left to ship them to. Glancer. Comforting thought. Trig Tech. Just jokes. Glancer. Not so sure. Trig Tech. Don't get all end is nigh on me. Glancer. I'm trying, but I'm seriously stressed. Hearing it's the same back home isn't comforting. Trig Tech. Wouldn't worry too much. Glancer. Wouldn't or don't? Trig Tech. I mean, I think about it and notice things, but I'm not going to overanalyze anything. Ramp-ups happen. They're just keeping us primed and ready. Glancer. That's what I tell my paranoid self. Trig Tech. Talking to yourself. There's your problem. Glancer. It's not the talking I'm worried about. It's when I answer back. Trig Tech. Well, if you end up crazy, at least you'll have company. Glancer. There's a nice spin on mental illness. Trig Tech. Not a doctor, but happy my expert opinion could be of some assistance. Glancer. You're seriously not worried? Trig Tech. Hell yes, I'm worried. Pretty sure I made that clear, but you can't dwell on shit outside your control. Glancer. More sage advice? Trig Tech. Not really. More like common sense. Look, we boost prod on the heavy stuff, load up on the shooters, and keep the gears greased, pumps primed, and the situation ain't good, but we're ready if needed. That's our job. That's the gig. Glancer. I know. Trig Tech. I know you know. Glancer. It's all kind of standard issue, but this is different. You even said it's just different. Trig Tech. We probably say that every time there's escalation. I'm pretty sure everybody says it every time. Just the nature of the beast. Glancer. Maybe. Tell me something. See anything new there? New equipment, new crew? Trig Tech. You guys rolling all the damn time. Got 3 new techs last week. Glancer. Not techs. Trig Tech. Like more grunts? Glancer. Not so much infantry, but yeah, I mean something else. Trig Tech. Big dudes? Glancer. Bigger than normal, yeah. Trig Tech. Group came through days ago. Tough looking bastards with fancy equipment and bigger than hell. Not just size-wise, their presence was big, like their aura or whatever, you know? But they were only here and gone in a day or two. Glancer, know who they were? Trig Tech, not for sure. Got the same out there? Glancer, yeah, 2 sets. Been here for 2 weeks-ish. Trig Tech, who are they? Berto says Spartans, but I don't know. Never actually seen one. Could be. Glancer, apparently Yuma had a few come through as well. Talked with Tuppo over there, and same thing. Saw a group of badasses one day. Big, mean-looking, hard cases. Then the next they're gone. He thought they might be jumpers or something, but if they were from the same class as what we got here, no way in hell. Trig Tech, think they're Spartans? Ever seen one? Glancer, not in person, so I can't say, but pretty damn sure that they were something special. That's what got me freaked. Trig Tech. Why? If we got Spartans roaming around, I'd like to see the Coveys pick a fight, right? Reach is already fortified like the gates of heaven, so adding some high-end face punchers to the mix only works in our favor. Crisis averted. Glancer. That's the thing. Trig Tech. What? Glancer. That's why I'm worried. Trig Tech. What, the fact you don't need to worry? Glancer. Funny. No, the fact that top brass is worried enough to position Spartans here instead of the front lines. Trig Tech. Front lines could already be stocked up with their quota of super soldiers. These could be reserves. Glancer. Or maybe we're on the front damn lines and just don't know it. Trig Tech. That's a bit of a leap. Glancer. Is it? Trig Tech. You just said you don't even know if they're Spartans. Glancer. So did you. Trig Tech. Right, so we're making assumptions. Glancer. Maybe. Trig Tech. Maybe? You're just looking for excuses to stress. Glancer. Hope you're right. Got no problem living a long, stress-filled life complete with conspiracy theories and irrational fear. But what if I'm right and you're just scared? Trig Tech. Tell you what. I got a ton on my plate, so I'm gonna go back to being a grease monkey. You can stew in your doomsday fantasies, and we'll talk again in a week or two when we're both in the same damn place we are today. Overworked, overstressed, and underpaid. In the meantime, have a beer. Have 4. Just do something other than whatever the hell it is you're currently doing to yourself. Glancer. This is just how my brain works. I get hung up on this crap, and I can't help but overthink it. Thanks for listening. Trig Tech. Don't mention it. Glancer. We'll talk. Trig Tech. Sure thing. Talk to you later. And for Christ's sake, relax a little. This is Reach. We'll be fine. End transmission. Holy fucking Christ. It keeps going. Okay, we're almost done. God, this is 33 minutes. I was going to add this to the end of the last video. No, this is its own video now. I didn't realize it was going to take nearly or over half an hour. I'm very thirsty too, and there's no water down here. Above top secret, Pri Alpha, Office of Naval Intelligence, Winter Contingency Declaration Supplemental Orders. 1. The following numerically identified officers, headquarters, United Nations Space Command, Reach Epsilon Eridani System, will execute the following orders before evacuation of systems according to Cole Protocol strictures. Field Officer Number 345-261B, Field Officer Number 345-104B, Adjunct Field Officer Number 311-112B, Field Officer Number 227-112B, Special Officer Number 223-212A. Orders for field agents follow. Redact all XNAV and AstroNav assets. Orders for field agents terminate. Background, history, and details follow. You are reading an evacuation order mandated by the emergence of a winter contingency situation. This particular order is automated, and the circumstances surrounding the specific emergence are not detailed here. Please consult Emerge Push Secure for more current information. Further instructions for field agents. All coal protocol mandates are in force. It cannot be stressed enough that coal protocol mandates include machinery, equipment, records logs, and personnel. Every agent on the distribution list has been through scaled morality training and should understand the responsibilities entailed. Coal protocol measures are useless without sterilization of all triangulation information, whether it is stored digitally or organically. As a field agent, this single fact is the most important guideline you should follow. Background. All astronavigation personnel carry a subdural pulse-coded emitter that is activated by winter contingency and nullified once aboard a secure vessel or location. They are unaware of this device or its purpose. You can exploit local ground net or utilize ONI NavSpec to identify and secure these assets. There is no termination date for this order. Once winter contingency is declared, all assets must be secured or redacted until such time as protocol-mandated rendezvous point is reached safely. Do not overestimate the apparent complexity of the astronav task. A good astronavigator can identify and triangulate a very precise point in space using just a few known XNav pulsar signatures and any consumer-grade spectrometer or field kit. Our opponents are, of course, aware of this and have shown interest in such personnel in the past. So far, hermetic measures have worked. They are not guaranteed to work forever. UNSC Hierarchy. Under the Lyman-Naxela exception, you are hereby ordered to ignore or countermand all mission and contradictory orders from ranking UNSC officers below the grade of Secure Clear Captain. ONI ranking officers may still issue contravening orders, but use your judgment and common sense in applying the exception. If the logic of the situation dictates that an advantage may be gained in your mission by following orders, then do so. This is not carte blanche for interbranch insubordination. Superior officers can and will file reports on Lyman-Naxela exceptions. You must also, if possible, clearly assert Lyman-Naxela privilege to any senior officer given accepted orders, if the situation provides an opportunity to do so. Otherwise, agent discretion is in play. Details, doc end. And then we got ads for Comic and Mega Constructs, Xbox official gear, Halo Mythos, and blank page, and another blank page, and another blank page. And at the beginning, it's signed by Master Chief, Steve Downs. Anyway, we're done. That's the whole fucking book, man.
I'm so dehydrated, oh my lord.
Alright, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what book you want to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.